Hey everybody, it's Denise from lumahat.com. In this video, I want to show you how to make these loopy flowers. They're made using a flower loom, and the only other supplies you're going to need are some yarn. I like to use 3 strands. You could use 1 if you want to. This just makes it go faster. A yarn hook, yarn needle, and some scissors. Okay, so put your supplies together and let's start this project. See you in a bit. Get the 3 strands of yarn and leave about a 3 to 4 inch tail. Make a knot. Take the knot and secure it to your anchor peg. Sorry, all 3. And then bring your working yarn straight forward and find the first peg and wrap it, and come to the peg on the right of your anchor peg and wrap it, and then just keep going to the peg on the right of the last peg. So you're going to go from end to end, but you're going to look for the peg on the right, always wrapping across. See that? You wrap and then you go to the right of the last one on the other end, and you just continue to do this until all of your pegs have been wrapped. Okay, now this is my first row, and because I used 3 strands, I can basically be done at this point, because you're okay with 3. But if you want to have a thicker flower, then you can go around again. If you're going to do that, push that first row down. Okay, and when you start the second row, start it up at the top. That's going to help you to know where you left off. Okay, you see that? Now I know that I just go to the next one on the right, and I keep going. So I've done the second row, and as you can see, there's 2 sets on each peg, right? And this is my last one, and so I'm going to bring it back over to where I started so that it can be a complete cross. And then I take my working yarn and I cut about a 3 to 4 inch tail, simply because this is not what I use to secure it up top. I'm just going to make a knot on the back because there's 3 of them, and I don't want to work with 3. I just want to work with 1 on the top. So I'm going to cut here, and then I'm going to take this working yarn and I'm going to first push all of these down, right, so I can work better with it. And then I'm going to take this, and in between 2 of the pegs, I'm going to push it in. Okay, to the other side, and pull it like this. And then I'm going to take the yarn that was on this anchor peg, and I'm going to take it off. You can always use your trusty hook to take yarn off, and undo your knot, and then take that as well, right, and feed it in between, feed it in between 2 of the pegs, okay, to the other side. And then take those 2 and make a knot. Okay, so this is secure, and I'm going to come back to show you how I'm going to secure the rest of the flower. Okay, be right back. So cut out a piece of yarn that's about 16 inches in length, and you might use it all, you might not. You're going to have to leave a tail that's about 4 inches so you can use it to tie. Okay, I do try to get as much of it doubled up so I don't have to, you know, feed as much yarn, but you do what works best for you. And the two loose yarns that I have here, I don't want to have to be fighting with them, you know, because they're left over and they're dragging all over the place. So I cut them off. You can leave them if you like, but this works best for me. And then I just take this and I'll recycle it. I use it as stuffer. All right, so I take my needle, and now what I'm going to be doing is going in between the pegs like this in order to create this middle. All right, and don't panic if you miss one, like some folks think that's really bad. It's not good. It's best that you get all of them because you don't want your flower to unravel, but don't panic, okay? All right, so we go from end to end with our yarn and needle, just feeding the yarn through there, and just get it as tight as you can. Go to the next one next to it. Oops. And then just keep doing that until you've gotten all of them and you feel pretty comfortable that you covered all of your bases at least twice. And also that it looks the way you want it to look, because if you want a thick top here, then you're going to have to go around quite a few times. If you want to save yourself some time and you're okay with this, then double your yarn and that'll make you go faster. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing my middle here, and then I'll be back to show you how to finish off your flower. See you back in a bit. So I finished my middle, right? And I made sure that I went around at least twice. Now I made this kind of thick because I want it to look like the middle of a real flower, but if you're going to put a button there, then use some thinner yarn to do this so that the button can secure really well there without giving you a hard time. Okay, so I now turn my work over and I have the piece of yarn that I left over, that tail, and I'm done here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. That's what I've been sewing with, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a knot here. Okay, and in order to get this off, all I'm gonna do is I can either pull these off, because it pulls off pretty easy, right? That's one thing I can do. Or some people like to go ahead and get their hook and just do it this way. And you can do that too. I prefer to just pull the pegs off, right? Because I can just put them right back on. And you don't need to take them off. If you just take a few of them off, the flower gets loose. And it pretty much comes off easy after that. Okay, so there's my loopy flower. And I did it just going around twice because I used 3 strands. And it's really easy, and there's so much you can do once you've got to this point. You can put a pin on the back, or you can attach it to a headband, or your shirt, your shoes, your backpack, your sweater. Wow, the list is endless. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me your comments, and I'll see you guys for the next project. Have a good one. Goodbye.